We figured out how to grow corn and with GPS tractors, using chemical fertilizer and hybrid seed and all the rest of it, natural gas dry down. But nobody's asking, well, but should we grow so much corn, or should we be feeding cows corn? And so I believe that part of our mandate is part of landscape redemption. See, I think it takes a lot of faith to assume that how the landscape is necessarily its very best position, okay? There are things that the human can bring to it, like ponds in the valleys to dam up floodwater. This is being a good neighbor policy. Floods are a problem to neighbors downstream, so if we can hold that up here near where the raindrops fall and let it go gently during a drought, that actually hydrates the landscape and is good for the neighbor springs and waters and aquifers and all that. So I believe that part of our redemptive capacity on the landscape should be in elevating the commons. Everything that we do should actually increase the commons, not deplete it. And what I see in our culture, where our gross domestic product does not measure the depletion of resources, it does not measure. Good night. If you pollute a riparian zone, and it now costs $10 million it now costs $10 million in a Superfund site to clean up a zone that you've polluted, that goes in as an asset on our gross domestic product. That's crazy. I mean, are you with me?
Yeah.
We don't get, there is no line on gross domestic product for a value of a pond that we build up here with our own money to hold floodwaters and keep them from going downhill. That doesn't get any GDP except just the excavation budget. But if we pollute that and the taxpayers have to ante up the cost for cleaning the pond, then that adds up to GDP. It's nuts. It's nuts. So anyway, we believe that what we do should actually elevate the commons. And I think that we, especially those of us in the kind of conservative political movement, we almost refuse to use the word commons, because that's what the liberals say. That's what the commies, it sounds like a commie, you know, like a socialist if you say the commons. But the commons is very real. I mean, none of us is an island. We can't live without trees over there and water over there and soil over there. You can't have just an island of productivity, you know, in a sea of nothingness. And so the commons is important, and we need to be thinking about floating that commons. So that's where the water comes from. Pond about a mile up the mountain, flows down. In fact, there's a series of ponds. There's 3 of them all hooked together, and between them, then they provide all the water throughout the season to go down here.
Are you laid out on key line, or is that just a couple ponds?
Laid on a key line. No. The beauty of plastic pipe is we don't have to worry about the key line.
Cool.
So that's that's what P.A. Yeomans didn't have. He didn't have plastic pipe in the 40s when he was developing the key line plan. Now we can go uphill, downhill. You know, we go right up on these hills. We got water as long as the end of the pipe is below where it comes in. We can go uphill, downhill. We can go anywhere.
That's cool.
It's really very, very cool.
Yeah. Can you pump it?
What?
Can you pump it if you don't have a pond at a high point?
Yeah. If you don't have a pond at a high point, certainly you can pump it. Yeah.
How many birds per pen?
How many birds? 75 in a shelter. Yep.
Predators.
Predators. You saw the guard geese right here. The guard geese keep away aerial predators and night predators. The dog, the big white Michael, the guard dog, patrols, keeps out coyotes and foxes. So we do all we can, including grazing. We've just grazed ahead of these, to keep the grass low so that predators don't want to come up around here. Not to say that we never have a predator, and when we do, we deal with the predator. And if it's an endangered species, we shoot, shovel, and shut up, and do what's necessary. Okay? Maybe one more, and we're going to go.
Could you explain the water?
Explain the water?
How you get water into these from your lines, from your ponds.
Okay. There's
side of that. Yeah.
Oh, right up there is a cow trough. Right behind that feed tank, where those white buckets are, there's a water trough right there, cow trough. Okay, and that the water lines run on the edges of the field. There's a 3/8 inch air hose going down to the water line on a float valve that lets that water go in. When the trough gets full, it cuts off. Okay, and then we just dip and carry, and that trough then moves right with the shelters so that it's real close all the time. Okay, all right. The egg mobiles, we won't make another stop. We'll just talk about them here. We're about out of time because we still got to go do the piggerators. Egg mobiles, of course, they follow the cows. If you look around, you notice you don't see any cow pies. The chickens follow the cows like the egret on the rhino's nose, like the birds follow herbivores in nature. How does nature sanitize behind herbivores? It follows herbivores with birds. And so chickens are birds. We all agreed with that. Okay, we're not going to have an argument there. All right. So the chickens are birds. And the birds follow the herbivores, scratch through the cow patties, eat out the fly larvae, spread out the cow patties so they cover a lot more ground and act as a biological sanitizer. And then as the season progresses, which it feels like it's progressing right now, doesn't it? As the season progresses and there's grasshoppers and crickets and all that stuff, the chickens, of course, will pick all those up. So that instead of shooting the cows up with Ivomec and grubicides and parasiticides and things, we simply collect $100,000 worth of eggs as a byproduct of the pasture sanitation program. So we just follow the cows with the egg mobiles, and they just free range out and scavenge around where the cows have been. Okay. Now, the layers are non-hybrids. These are hybrids. Those are non-hybrids. And we are now hatching. We're in the third year of hatching our own pullets. We did not hatch these. We're just getting our numbers up. But we're very excited about what we see hatching our own pullets from the old survivor old hens. In other words, we saved the oldest hens that are 2 years old. They're still healthy. They never got eaten by a hawk. They always went in. They never got sick. And they're still healthy at 2 years. We take those, we breed them, those hardy genetics back. And the pullets that we're getting now are just, they're light years better than anything we've seen. They're really, really cool. So we're pretty excited that within 3 or 4 years we're going to have a total pasture genetic, unvaccinated, big hardy pasture